Welcome everyone to Hustle Education. Meet Daen Brown, co-founder of King Brown, a brand born from surf, street and barber culture with a vision to create premium barber-first products. Starting in 2013, is that correct, Daen?
Yeah, 2013. About a year's development, then went into market in September 2014. So yeah, been around.
Wow. Yeah, great. Daen and his co-founder spent months refining formulas, personally taking their first product to barbershops across Australia, building the brand from the ground up. And today, King Brown is a globally recognized name in grooming, known for high-performance products that blend classic barbering with modern style. And now Daen is joining Hustle to share that journey, the craft behind the products, and how to make them work behind the chair. So, Daen, I'll throw the mic to you.
Oh, cheers. Thank you very much, Mummy. Thanks, everyone, for attending. I appreciate everyone taking time out of their busy schedules. So I just want to give you a little bit of a rundown. We're going to run you through the range and how the brand started from obviously 11, 12 years ago now through to the modern day and where we fit in the big wide world of barbering and salon products. All right, so as Mummy said, look, we're an Australian-born brand back in 2013. We were heavily influence. Actually, a little disclaimer before we go on. I am not a barber, nor am I a hairdresser. My business partner is not a barber or a hairdresser. My background is, in fact, fashion, sales and marketing and brand development. So I was working for a fashion company that did a collaboration with one of my major competitors now. So going back some 14, 15 years, and that's what sparked my interest to get into basically the barbering game and the hair product game. So that was so that's my disclaimer from the start with. So essentially, the product was built out of an influence by the time when men sort of dress with style, regardless of their daily pursuits, and the products were made to transcend time and trends. We really wanted to. You can tell by the aesthetic, the brand is quite old school and very Australiana in its design, and that was all on purpose. My surname is in fact Brown, as you can see, and my business partner's wife's maiden name was King, so that was how we fused the name initially back in the day. I didn't want to call it that, if I'm honest. I thought it was a bit narcissistic to have that on my email, so I was literally Daen from King Brown for the first 6 months. So this is my good-looking business partner, Dan. He has been a childhood mate of mine since we've been, early teens. So we're still in business today, still best friends today, which has been nice. We're very much a yin and yang. I'm dare say the creative side of the business, and he is a little bit more the business mind of the business. So we balance each other out pretty damn nice. So we are based up here in Burleigh Heads. Very proud Australian brand, as you can tell by some of our marketing and logos and branding that we push out. So this was part of a presentation we did actually to the US, was really to call out the Australiana side of our business. But up here in Burleigh Heads, proud Queensland business, Australian made product, made in Queensland. So through into styling products, we'll go on to the next one. We'll take you straight into the range. Now, the range right now in the marketplace, it's pretty noisy. There's a lot of new brands coming out, a lot of very generic packaging. We've seen a heavy shift to some really minimalist packaging in the marketplace, which is great. But we're finding that a lot of the brands are really there's nothing really standing out. So we're really stout on being a strong vintage branded product, high quality tin, embossed, fully printed tins, high quality ingredients and high quality manufacturing practices. So there is a diagram at the end which will show you how the range is schemed out. I can explain better why we do certain products under certain holds and shines and everything for certain reasons. So this was our first product. So this is as traditional as it gets as far as a traditional men's styling pomade. They were all based way back in the day. A lot of us would remember our grandparents and whatever having Brill creams and Dax waxes and Murray's, all that type of stuff. So this is really paying homage to that era. Mind you, it did take us 12 months of development to get the product to what we deem to be one of, if not the best, medium hold, medium sheen, oil-based products in the marketplace. It's much more easier or user-friendly, I should say, than the old Murray's and the Dax. So it is an oil and beeswax product, medium hold, medium shine, really masculine, fresh tobacco and vanilla bean scent. I don't like when it's fresh tobacco, not burnt tobacco. And with this particular product, you do, we'd say shampoo, rinse. It is 2 to 3 washes to get it out because it is an oil-based product, but it's perfect for thick hair. It's what I've got in at the moment. Classic style cuts, slick backs, pomps, but it is traditional. The funny thing with this particular product though is we have die-hard consumers of this product because there's not a lot of brands, particularly new brands, that compete within this realm. This is awesome for guys who surf because it doesn't wash out. You can get out and restyle your hair. Great for people who are into the gym because it doesn't sweat out in your eyes. Motorbike riders, you know, classic guys who like the old classics of style. That is this product. So that's this. This is a part of the marketing campaign we released last year, but obviously, we've got a big South American following. So this is a shoot we actually did in South America. So it's hence why you might see a couple of Mexican-looking gentlemen in there. Second product we launched was this guy, which is the gel-based version, essentially of the original one. So we wanted something obviously that was a little bit cleaner for guys to wash out. So it's a simple water rinse, but it has the same properties. It's still a medium hold, a medium sheen, gel-based product. It has a really nice fresh cologne fragrance. Obviously more suited to those gentlemen who are working in air conditioning, business type sort of orientations. Again, it's basically the same sort of application recommendations, medium to thick hair, and clean classic styles. So essentially you have an oil-based version and a water-based version. So great for anyone, you know, anyone with kids who want to do all those sort of classic looks, but they don't want to deal with oil-based products. And this is a bang-on remedy for that. So on the next one, yep. So obviously a bit more, as you can see from the aesthetic of the styling, a bit more of a cleaner cut gentleman with that particular one. We try to obviously marry up the marketing assets with the product, so it helps, you know, sell in store. We do offer a bunch of things which we will include with orders too, which is like shelf talkers, which have the product information on it. And obviously we're flexible if you guys have special requests through Hustler as well. If you need additional signage or branding, then we can work with you guys on a bespoke case with that as well. So all right, the matte pomade. This is without a doubt our best-selling product. It has been for the last 6 or 7 years since we launched it. So this is a kaolin clay beeswax water-based hybrid. It's a medium hold, low sheen, has a really nice earthy leather, natural Australian vernal grasses and herbs sort of fragrance, almost quite soapy. We don't do any sweet fragrances in our line. Our line is quite mature. It's a shampoo rinse, this one. So this one in particular, it will rinse out with just one shampoo. It does have, with the beeswax content in this, you do get the benefits, I believe, of having a compound or a build-up of consecutive days use. So this is a great balance for the guys who want the matte look and everything, but they don't necessarily want the dryness that you do get with some of the pure clay products. So having that little bit of beeswax still holds the moisture in the scalp and allows you to do a bit of restyling as well without having to reapply the product itself. This is actually awesome. You can do what I've got in like my type of style haircut. You know, you can do classic slick backs and pomps, or you can do any type of texture style with this type of product. It all comes down to the just the amount of use, really. So, but this product for us sells double every other piece of or SKU in my line, I should say. So obviously, again, a bit more of a texture sort of type cut in this one with a bit of a crop with the side blowouts. So a cream. So this was our version of, as I mentioned earlier, brill cream. This was our version of a light hold brill cream, but we wanted to make something that was water soluble, light hold, low to neutral sort of sheen. It has a native Australian lemon myrtle and sandalwood scent, and it's completely water soluble. So, like I said, we originally want to do our version of a brill cream. It's the most viscous out of the pomades that we've got in our line, so it's the easiest to apply. By nature of the product itself, it's actually been a really big seller for us on people with curls because it will actually bind and accentuate curls. Great for taming flyaways, great for longer hair, great if you want to do loose sort of slick backs and just more relaxed styling. But that's been thanks to COVID, we've actually seen a huge uptake in sort of the lighter, easy use products since then, obviously just due to the nature of hairstyle trends. But the cream pomade, the powder wax, and the grooming spray have been our 3 biggest growth products since COVID, and obviously textured mullets and all the other things that have blown on since these hair trends. So, but yeah, also like I said, we don't do a curl cream, but this particular product is amazing on curls. So. Okay, so we've sort of gone, the first three products were in the medium hold category. We go down to the lighter hold category with the cream, and then we sort of flip it on its head and we go up to strong hold category, excuse me, with the paste pomade. So it's a really lightweight application, but it does dry really fast. We tried to create something that was really heat and humidity resistant. We are based in Queensland, obviously subtropical. So this has been a great product that we work for those sort of more tropical, hotter areas. we got asked a lot for this type of product out of Asia. So it's been a product that we specifically sort of developed for that. But it is, out of everything we do, the strongest hold without a doubt. I went through haven't been doing it for a while, but my hot yoga phase, and that was where this got tested. I was going in doing a full head of hair with this stuff in it, and coming out, and it was hardly moved at all. The stuff is pretty amazing. It does still wash out with water, so it's not an oil-based product at all, but really nice, classic sort of bay rum fragrance. Like I said, super heat and humidity resistant, low shine, but with a really strong hold. So this is you can do something like mine and it just won't move, or you can do it like a little bit and just into textured cuts. Just anything where you want to really define the texture of the hair, this is going to be an amazing product for that. But like I said, in longer hair, you do have to apply it into mildly damp hair because it does dry really quick. So we wanted to use obviously a bit more of an extreme example of a haircut with this on, so hence why we put it in the mohawk. And that was just an image from the original marketing campaign trying to emphasize the heavy hold. So powder wax. So don't need to explain this to you, ladies. You obviously would have had a truckload of powders in and out of your salons over the years. So this is the driest look of all the products that we do, obviously with an ultra matte. Increases volume, adds texture. It's a light to medium hold. Obviously we know with powders they're quite flexible. Zero shine, water soluble. Unlike others, I'm not calling anyone particular, but a lot of the brands that I tested whilst we were researching and developing the product, some of them can have a really, really stringent tipping point that you put one or two shapes too much in, and it's like almost turns into concrete powder. I couldn't stand it personally when we were developing it. So this particular product is awesome, particularly for the user, or from a user-friendly standpoint. You would have to put a truckload in for it to be unworkable. So super user-friendly. Like I said earlier, one of our biggest growth products, just with the trends that are happening at the moment, textures and crops and mullets and the likes. So an amazing product. It did used to come in a pump bottle. We've since changed it due to market feedback to a shaker top, and it's still, I'd say it's probably sitting about number 3 for us on sales on average at the moment. So yeah, really strong. Obviously, again, example of just a dry sort of textured crop with that one. So you can see the product. Grooming spray. This is, I won't lie, this is a ladies volumizer and texturizer. When we were developing this particular product, the big catchword was sea salt sprays within the male industry. We live on the Gold Coast. We're right near the sea. I think sea salt spray is pointless. So we wanted to do a product that was better than sea salt spray. So we went out again and researched all the top-selling women's texturizers, volumizers in the marketplace, sprays, I should say, and found the ones we liked and developed this particular product. So it's a light hold, it's a texture volume hold item. So we deem this as like a triple threat. We tell guys put it in early. If you do a more of a structured style, use it as a pre-styler. Help develop that structure of your style before you put a heavier hold product in. You can put it as a standalone for texture. You can blow dry it in for volume, or you can spray it over the top of light to medium hold pomades, and it'll actually give you about 20% extra hold. So for those not in the industry, I just tell them that's just like a light hairspray. So, but a great product. Like this was without a doubt our biggest growth product once we hit COVID, and I thought it might have been more of a product that was going to be directed just to the barbers and the stylists, but it's exploded within the marketplace. So this has been unreal for us. Really nice cologne fragrance. Rinse it out with water. Like I said, great for all hair types. You can use it as a standalone. Use it. We just had an event the weekend. We were styling guys up with their mullets, blow drying into their mullets, give their mullets volume for the mullet competition. Like there's multi uses for these types of things, but anyone who loves the use of a good volumizer and texturizing spray will love this stuff. It's the most unisex product we run for sure. So not specific to this product, but obviously example of good texture using that particular product. If we go into the recap, this is kind of where I like to sort of give the broader idea of why we do the products in the categories we do. Originally, our product design plan was to do 5 products, 3 across the middle, 1 at the bottom, 1 at the top. And the reason why we do it almost like a diamond shape, the reason why we did that and we structured that initial plan was medium hold is middle market. And back when we launched this brand, there was 3 categories. There was oil-based, there was water-based, and then there was clays. So that's where those 3 sort of sit in that medium hold. Obviously, we dropped down to the water-soluble with the and the lighter hold with the cream pomade. We went up to the heavy hold with the paste. But then due to popularity, we like to listen to the marketplace. We're not naive to it. Obviously that lower hold and more textured categories by now, it's gone out to the powders and the grooming sprays. So, but that's how we structure it. So I always like to tell people too, when you've got customer coming in the store, guys in particular, we don't like to give away too much, or we don't know too much when we sit in the chairs. Always start in the middle whole category. It just gives you opportunity to go, okay, well, are you into sports? Well, maybe this oil base will be good for you. They go, oh, I don't like that. I like to wash it out. So you can push them into a clay or into a gel base. But the good thing about medium whole category is a starting point too. When they come back next time, it gives a scope to then talk to them and discuss, go, okay, well, how'd you go with that? And they go, oh, I needed more hold. Yeah, okay, cool. Well, I've got the solution. We can go up to this. Oh, I had too much hold, or I just want something a bit lighter. You know, it gives us opportunity to drop down into those lighter hold categories with sprays and creams and powders. So medium hold is the money. It's the mass market. It's always the easiest way to approach it. Questions are what you ask when they're in the chair. I mean, this whole thing with selling product, selling can become a dirty word in the barbering industry. I don't believe it's quite so much in the salon industry, but in the barbering industry, selling can be a dirty word. So we say it's obviously, we highlight that's part of the service, you know, from consult through the point of sale. There's a reason why we spend a lot of money and a lot of time on developing products that not only perform well, but look good and smell nice, because that's all part of the process. Getting in their hands, getting to smell it, getting to touch the skin, explaining to them why the haircut they want. Your skill set has created this, and you're using that one product that's going to make them look the best they can until they come back next time. So super important, very hard to educate everyone on that, but it's the biggest part. And one of the biggest pushbacks I get is everyone's like, I don't want to hear no. Like, well, you've done the training, you've done all the effort, you've taken their money, you put the time in, you owe it to your client to give them the best product. It doesn't always have to be my product, and I'm honest about that. You know, it can be other brands out there, or they might offer other categories or other things that might suit one particular client better than my stuff. But we offer a broad range. If there's not something in my range to cover what you need, then I think we need to relook at it. I do have another one coming, so I'll talk about that one in a minute. So there we go, straight into the Q&A. So any questions? Otherwise I can keep talking more as well. So
I'll quickly jump in. I used to pound the pavement being a business development manager for various brands in the last, 14, 16 years. And every brand that I went to, it's interesting when they asked for a men's range, they always like, oh, is there a pomade? Yes or no. And then the next question was, okay, if you do, is it in a tin? So it's really good to see that obviously your pomade is in a tin, because it's amazing that even the packaging is super important for a lot of people as well. And just going back to that, that old school, and that's why I said before, your marketing is amazing. Rob and I and Hayden, when they talked about, hey, we've been talking to Daen, it'd be great if we can get King Brown on, because we do have a lot of barbers on the Hustle app. And we have had a lot of requests for King Brown. So, yeah, your marketing is awesome. But, yeah, it's cool to see you got a pomade in a tin. Another thing is that us women, I don't know about any other woman, but I have heard so many times that when it comes to this, if they've found a product or whatever, a scent that is a little bit kind of male, they like that on themselves. So when it comes to the texture spray, as you mentioned, it's like, it's great for women. And to have that fresh cologne scent, I think you've really nailed it for that, because there's a lot of women that want that almost male scent on them.
Yeah, I keep referencing men, but to be honest, we sell a lot of products unisex. It's amazing actually. You see, I look at some of the orders that come through and from our personal website, and yeah, look, I don't think we can pigeonhole ourselves to be anything anymore. So we're obviously male centric, but I mean, we sell them. I mean, we have a big following across all genres, So it's the big thing for us is we're obviously, from a branded perspective, we padded out the range to where we're really happy with it. We have had interest, and I'll go back to this one, this will be a release, which is going to be our new texture paste, which is probably going to be dropping August. But we developed that product 2 years ago. We just got caught up doing other things. And then, so that'll be a nice new, fresh sort of introduction for us, as far as it'll round out that category, particularly that medium to light hold category. It's a nice, soft, easy use product, but doesn't set quite as hard as the paste, which I mentioned earlier on. So the brand's been around for a while. We've got a bunch of new capes. I can't recall if you sell the capes through Hustle, but We've got a bunch of new stuff coming out, which is going to be really exciting for us this year. And the biggest thing, I suppose, for anybody looking at King Brown and or other products is where you find that, you know, that assimilation. You've got to have an emotional and not the product's got to be good quality, but you need to have an emotional and an invested sort of commitment in the brands if you really want to sell them and believe what the brand's ethos is. I mean, we can pump out a lot of crap just to appease the market, but it doesn't mean it's going to make us or you guys any more money. We try and keep the brand and the range quite tight, so you can really pick those items that suit your skill set and what you offer your clientele and what your clientele wants. So, but we listen to everyone's feedback intently too. You know, that's the biggest part where we don't get sort of stuck in the office just sort of in our own little world. We're all about the feedback and from the consumers and the stylists and making sure that we steer this brand in the right way for the right amount of time. But yeah, it's great. I mean, like I said, we pounded the pavement. I think I hit the road. Originally, we had one product and I had to buy horrible. I went on the dole and had to buy 50,000 tins of that. So if it didn't work, a newborn child and a 2-year-old, so it was a bit of a gamble. I said to my wife, I said, if it doesn't work, I'm going to be at the markets for the next 25 years trying to move this stuff. So
wow, yeah.
We had 54 shops earmarked that were the cool shops at the time. This was back in 2013, and I did a road trip. We got 48 of them, so it was good. So, but you know, we sold the dream and sold the story, and now we're sort of we're in about 35 countries around the world now, give or take, depending on what happens with conflicts. But,
let's see what happens.
Oh yeah, or tariffs out of the US, which is a killer. But anyway, so.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. No,
you want any questions?
Yeah,
I know people don't like to ask questions at these things, but far away.
Do you have any of those products that would suit facial hair, beards?
Look, we did have a beard oil. We did it in collaboration with one of the original beard oil companies who was at the same age as us. The problem we have with the beard category, I'll be honest with you, is it's when you do beard oils, guys want them. They want them in multi-scents, so they go, yeah. And because we do custom print these things, like I buy everything in bulk, and unfortunately, it's like if I was to swing a fragrance, then we have European compliance, we have minimum order quantities. It's very expensive, I'll be honest. Okay, a lot of the brands who can pivot really easy, and they have a generic bottle, they put a sticker on it, go, oh, the new candy fragrance or the new whatever. Yeah, that we just can't do that. So we did have one product which we've discontinued now, but the same thing. As soon as we released the beard oil, everyone's like, "Oh, where's your beard balm and where's your beard wash?" And I was like, "You know, you've got to. We like to. If you're going to go in a category, we've got to commit to it." So the decision's been made that we're going to pull out of that, which we've done now. We're going to pivot back and release a couple more products within the hair styling category, because this particular product, like I said, we've been getting asked for a couple of years now. On average, we release one product every 12 months. That's on average, and that's because how long it takes for us by the time we test. And then even for us products, I mean, because we have to have products that sit in stability testing for 6 months. They literally sit in an incubator, you know, like this is. Everyone thinks it's easy to do this sort of stuff. I did too, to be honest. When we started, I was like, "Yeah, we'll have be in market 3 months, 6 months max." It was like, 14, 15, 16 months later, you got one product, you're negotiating with the factory to bring your tin price down by 5 cents across 50,000 units. It's like,
yeah, I remember when I was out visiting professional salons, and so many are saying, "No, I'm not interested. I'm creating my own hair care." But then I always have a little giggle to myself. I'm like, "You have no idea." And then 6 months later, nothing. A year later, 2 years later, nothing. Yeah. And so I think it's not until people actually dive into, then they go, actually, it's not as easy as I thought.
No, it's not. Like I said, you've got to find the brands. There is a lot of brands out there. Let's not kid ourselves. There's so many brands, and everyone sees this part of the market as you know, really a good opportunity to make money and jump in. But it's hard work. I mean, that's the honest truth. You know, drawing clients into your salon and competing with the salon up the road, all that stuff's hard work. You've got to. I do tell people that you've got to think of your salon as, and this is probably me coming out of a retail and sales background, but think of yourselves as a Myer or a Universal or whatever. Like you've got to get the brands that your customers want and suits your customer. Don't try and be everything to everyone, but and you don't have to. And particularly when you're talking about brands, you don't need to buy every product from every brand. Like it's just not. You don't need to. You can cherry pick the stuff that really works for you. Try stuff. If you don't like it, everything's subjective. I've got stores that literally across the road. One store will sell that, and then the other store thinks it's the worst product they've over the road thinks it's the worst product they've ever tried. You know, they sell other stuff there, so it's fine. You just dip your toe in the water, try stuff out, and see what you like. But ultimately, find the brands that you have the connection with. You know, that you really want to back, whether it's ours or anyone else's. It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm sure there's some good options within the Hustle app and others, but it is always nice, to have a connection with products and brands, and we all want that emotional connection, no matter what we buy. Clothing through to food and products and styling products. It's all part of it. It's all part of the marketing. But let us help market the brands. Like if we market the brands and then you got them, then the job's sort of halfway there, rather than trying to buy something that's generic and not marketable. We invest a lot of time and money and effort into it. It doesn't always work, but we do it.
Yeah, for sure. And Mel's she's got a great question. She says, are you thinking of making a clarifying shampoo to remove the oil-based products? Good question.
Look, yeah, we have. We had done it before. The problem I had with shampoos, we do make a shampoo now. It's actually a thickening shampoo. It has some active ingredients called Procapil, which you might have seen through Bondi Boost range and stuff previously. But the problem we have with the shampoo, and it's just that men don't buy it. And then within the barbering game, 99%, I think South Australia is the only state where you have to have a basin. So people guys don't buy it. And then when we made it, and then we went around and talked to everyone about it, and then everyone was just like, no, we don't sell it. Or the guys want it for $10. Or you talk to the guys, they're like, I don't know, I just use whatever's in the shower.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that question's more so on the professional side. Yeah. When a guy comes in, into a unisex salon and well, not just a unisex, but again, I used to get that all the time going into the salon. Have you got a really good clarifying shampoo for the men that come in?
So there's little tricks to it, or with anything that's like that. One of them is that the body's going to break that all down a little bit over time, just by nature of body heat and all the rest of it. But if you start using things like gels and what have you over the top, they can help emulsify the actual product. So I know it sounds, don't judge me on it, but I guess that's my favorite product. And what I usually do is I'll run cycles. I'll run that for 3 or 4 days, because you always find with oil-based products, the build-up and the guy's hair is always going to look best on day 2 and 3. But then I'd run that over the top, and what it does, it would just naturally emulsify and break the oils down. So you're not actually having to wash your hair; you're just running a cycle of it. So that's one trick. The other one is obviously like powders. With styling powders and baby powders can help absorb the oils and then wash it out. Otherwise, a heavy duty shampoo. But good questions. We had done it, or we have looked into it. We just pulled out of it because and we didn't feel that our barbershops at that point in time. I mean, I'm going back a couple of years. We've also developed other products. I've got a shelf over there, I can't show you, it's top secret, but it's full of stuff that's gotten 3/4 away into production. I got boxes of stuff upstairs that we'll never see the light of day, of things that we've made, and got that far down the production line that we just went, market says no, pull the handbrake on it. So we don't want to I don't want to spend money, and I don't want to push BS into the market if it's not going to be sold. So
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Daen.
If anyone ever has any questions too, you can contact me directly through social media, through Instagram, King Brown Pomade. I do run all that stupidly myself, but anyway. So if you ever have any product questions, that's the easiest way. And trust me, there is no such thing as a question that's too dumb. If you have any questions, hit me up through that. I'm more than happy to answer anything.
Amazing. Daen, you were fantastic.
Thanks, everyone. I appreciate your time. I know everyone's busy.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day and speak soon.